Today on the spot, we find out what's coming out for Xbox Live and the Wii Shop Channel, check in with Shaun McInnis at the THQ Gamers Week in New York City, and get a demo for God's Eater Burst. Today on the spot.
Hello everybody, it is Thursday, January 20th, and this is Today on the Spot. I am your host, Kevin Van Orden. Seated next to me is Sophia Tong, the great Sophia Tong.
Hi Kevin.
Hey.
How are you?
I am wonderful.
Yes.
It is another exciting day here in the GameSpot studios. You know why?
Why?
Because we went to THQ.
That's true. Last week, Shaun went out there and tackled the New York weather.
Absolutely. He also saw their new logo. Have you seen THQ's new logo?
The question mark?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I like a little curly Q at the end thing going there.
It's interesting. It'll take some time to adjust, but yeah, it's new. It's more up to date. That's
Absolutely.
For sure.
And also their game info is up to date because we saw some stuff with Homefront, Red Faction. What else am I missing?
MX versus ATV Alive. There's also WWE Allstars. There's a lot of stuff actually. The Blob 2, stacking, tons of.
And more. We've also got more stuff from that event regarding men hugging.
Yes.
And you know that's a theme.
Yes.
Absolutely, that's a theme on our show today on the spot. But before we get to the men hugging, what we really want to do is talk to Tor Thorson. Let's take a look and see what's happening in news this week.
Hey everyone, it's your GameSpot news update for Thursday, January 20th. I'm Tor Thorson. The same day the industry is captivated by the pricing and dating of the 3DS, that's March 27th at $250 for those that didn't hear, a bit of doom and gloom also seeped into the news cycle. Bizarre Creations, the studio behind such hits as Project Gotham Racing and Geometry Wars, is facing closure after 17 years. The main reason for the shutdown was the lackluster retail performance of the studio's last two games, Blur and James Bond 007 Bloodstone. Activision, which bought the studio in 2007, offered the following statement. Having explored a range of options, including a potential sale of the business, and consulted with the staff about these options, we now believe that the only likely option is to close Bizarre Creations. Bizarre Creations has been a great partner to Activision, and we thank them for all their efforts. Just hours before the imminent closure of Bizarre Creations was made official, another studio's shutdown was revealed. Disney Interactive Studios has confirmed to GameSpot that its Canadian studio Propaganda Games is no more. The company said in a brief statement that the studio has completed all its work associated with its most recent project. The project in question was Tron Revolution, the game tying into the film Tron Legacy, which underperformed at the box office and with critics. The studio also developed the 2008 reboot of the Turok franchise, also for Disney. Best of luck to everyone affected by these layoffs. Well, that's it, your GameSpot news update for Thursday, January 20th. For more headlines, head on over to news.gamespot.com.
So of course the big news this week, Sophia, is the Nintendo 3DS. We know when it's coming, we know how much it's going to cost. Are you going to get one?
Now I really want one. March 27th, $250. I mean, I wish there was a price drop, but I know that's not going to come until later, but it's hard to resist. I'm pretty sold on the whole 3DS technology.
Yeah, and all of us are the ones likely to get things that have buttons and make noise and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm sure I'll be getting one as well. Absolutely. Yeah. But you know, Nintendo's not putting all of its efforts into the 3DS. We've still got the wonderful, wonderful Wii that still brings us great games. Absolutely.
Let's find out what's coming out this week on the Wii Shop Channel.
This week on Wii Shop Channel, in WiiWare, innovate your way through zany puzzles and dock clock the toasted sandwich of time. Invent almost anything using the items you find in the game, from catapults to incredible flying machines. Travel through time with Doc Clock as he battles mad misguided robots to save his beloved cat and invent the perfect toasted sandwich machine. Speaking of machines, play as a tiny little tractor in Urbanix. Build a town on an empty lot while avoiding enemies and chasing away house crashers. Take on locations from the North Pole to the Moon in 150 levels, including a multiplayer mode. After that, get your beat on in the BitChip Beat demo. Enjoy retro visuals, classic gameplay, a 4-player multiplayer mode, and an 8-bit soundtrack. In Nintendo DSiWare, defend yourself in Glory Days Tactical Defense. Build towers, cannons, AAA guns, and other units to save yourself from an onslaught of tanks and enemy forces. Then, make sure that PETA doesn't find out that you're animal boxing. Throw jabs, hooks, and uppercuts against 50 wild fighters, customize fighter attributes like gloves, clothing, and hairstyle, then face off against a friend using a local wireless connection. When you're done fist fighting, fight for your business in the cellar. After being driven into bankruptcy, players must rebuild their fortunes by playing cards, drive your competitors out of business, and seek revenge capitalism style. Finally this week, check out Alien Puzzle Adventure. Set out to save the world from a mysterious chemical attack. Armed with a pseudo-quark generator gun, neutralize packs of differently colored quarks over the course of 35 stages by matching 3 quarks of the same color. That's all the time we have, folks. Join us next week for more This Week on Wii Shop Channel.
So as we mentioned before, Shaun took off to New York City to cover the THQ Gamers Day. So now let's find out all the games that were shown at the event.
Hey everybody, Shaun McInnis here in New York City for THQ Gamers Week. Guys, it is freezing cold outside. There's literally about a foot of snow on the ground, but it is nice and warm in here, mostly due to the fact that we've got all these TVs and all these video game consoles running because THQ has shown off a ton of games today. We've seen MX vs. ATV Alive, the new MX vs. ATV. It's a series that THQ has been doing for a while, but they're trying something new with this year's version of the game. They're charging $40 for the game compared to $60 for a normal full product. And what they're going to do is they're going to continue to support that for months and months with free and paid DLC. They're sort of trying an experimental, bold, new business model with that one, and a lot of people are interested to see if it's going to pay off. We also got a chance to see The Blob 2. It's running on Xbox 360. The original game was a Wii exclusive, but it's looking really good in HD, so The Blob 2, that explains the fancy jazz music behind me right now. We also got a chance to see a few of their other games. Up there we've got You Don't Know Jack. This was a game that was rumored to be coming out for a while. There was a lot of leaks on the game before it was officially announced, but it is very official. It's upstairs and they're showing You Don't Know Jack. And they've also got stacking here as well. Now this is Double Fine's latest downloadable game. They sort of made the switch over to this new strategy a few months ago with Costume Quest. That game was a big hit, and now they're working on stacking. You play as a tiny, adorable little Russian nesting doll, just, you know, working his way through life and general life type situations. Just the usual stuff that a Russian nesting doll who's come alive and can talk has to deal with. But that's not all they showed. We also got a chance to see one of the big feathers in THQ's cap for 2011, Red Faction Armageddon. I was a big fan of Red Faction Guerrilla, the last game, so needless to say, very psyched for this one. Got a chance to play with some of those crazy new weapons. There's a magnet gun, a gun where you shoot an object at one thing and then shoot it at another, and then they pulls that first thing to the other. It just creates all this new potential for chaos. The game's got all this awesome destruction. It's got new enemy types. You're going up against aliens, underground, some creepy dark caverns. So kind of a new feel for the Red Faction series, at least compared to the previous game, Guerrilla, but it looks really good. A lot of just ridiculous, absurd opportunities to blow stuff up and laugh as the rubble comes toppling down. And of course, since this is a THQ event, there is also professional wrestlers. Now, if you know professional wrestlers, you know that they are way too big to fit into a normal video segment, so we had to give them their own video segment, which is coming up later in the show. But for now, I'm Shaun McInnis. Thanks for watching, everybody, and stay tuned for more coverage.
So the downloadable games and content continue to stream in. For proof, let's take a look and see what's new this week on Xbox Live.
This week on Xbox Live, in arcade, the week kicks off with spare parts. Marty and Chip are stranded on a strange planet and must work together in co-op to rescue other stranded robots, fix a starship, and get off-world before being destroyed. Voice talent in the game features the likes of Simon Pegg from Shaun of the Dead. In Games on Demand, it's time to up your homeowner's insurance because it's Transformers the game. These robots are out of disguise and using the backyards and cities of Earth as their stomping grounds. Play as the Autobots and Decepticons as they settle their millennia-long grudge, this time over control of the mysterious Allspark. Then continue your robot romp in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. In addition to 2 full single-player campaigns, take the war online and battle your friends for supremacy. Afterwards, follow your dead wife into hell in Dante's Inferno. Go on an epic quest of vengeance and redemption through the 9 circles of hell as you struggle to free Beatrice from Lucifer's grasp. Battle fierce and hideous monsters while facing your own sins, a dark family past, and your unforgivable war crimes. In game demos, Daddy gets his dance on in the Dance Masters demo. In this demo, you will dance, and then dance some more. In downloadable content, Buku Sudoku gets the Puzzle Pack 19, Castlevania Harmony of Despair adds the extra stage Lord of Flies, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood uploads the Animus Project 2.0 DLC, EA Sports Active 2 drops the Nike Low Impact Starter Pack, Ruse adds Strategy with the Chimera Pack, and check for songs from the usual suspects Def Jam Rap Star, DJ Hero 2, and Rock Band 3. In Video Marketplace, don't forget to watch the Unbound Saga Between the Panels Episode 2, Section 8 Prejudice teaser trailer, Full House Poker reveal trailer, and the Project Animus 2.0 DLC trailer for Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. That's all the time we have, folks. Join us next week for more This Week on Xbox Live.
So Sophia, we're apparently not done in New York. We're heading back to THQ to see what else is on offer. And from what I understand, there is some men-hugging action going on.
Right, this time less fighting, I guess it's more wrestling. So WWE Allstars, I heard Shaun got to interview The Big Show and Sheamus. So let's check out the interview right now.
Hey folks, Shaun back here in New York for THQ's Gamers Week, where today they're showing WWE Allstars. Now, I hear a rumor that there are actually professional wrestlers wandering around the crowd here. I'm going to try to track 1 or 2 of them down. It should be easy. They're the ones wearing spandex with the oiled up chests, right? Anyways, I'm going to try it. Let's see if I have any luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce to you the one, the only, The Big Show!
I don't have pretty much covered it. I'm just excited to be in the game.
Well, I first of all, I have to say, you're a much more pleasant-looking gentleman than your cardboard cutout would suggest. I mean, the crazy eyes have definitely been toned down a lot.
Well, you know, you have to be sophisticated in this day and age. When I'm outside the ring and not wearing spandex, I have to dress up and be a bit more calm. But yeah, this is obviously taken on one of my less than better days. So,
Show, thank you very much for joining.
Hey, thank you very much for having me. How you doing?
I'm doing quite well, although I have to say I feel a little short. I consider myself a fairly tall guy. I'm 6 feet, but I look tiny right now.
You know, it's okay though. You still have a full head of hair. Be thankful, my friend. There's nothing worse than being bald.
I was just telling someone earlier on, I'd be a good alarm system. Just stick it just behind the front door. If anyone tries to break in, they're creative with that. I doubt they'd stick around for long.
So, Show, you're here to talk about WWE Allstars, and you know you're sort of in a unique position where you've been around for long enough that you've gone up against a lot of these legendary figures, and yet you're also wrestling against a lot of the current young kids. So, for you, what sort of a position is that to be in? How do you feel being in this game, having spanned such a long generation of wrestling?
It's a very unique position. I'm very thankful for it. I always think that. My career, I came in kind of at the right time where I got to work with a lot of the greatest this industry's ever seen, and also some of the future that this industry is just going to blow everybody's mind.
These guys paved the way for all us current superstars, from Kofi Kingston, me, myself, even Big Show. I mean, if they weren't there, I probably wouldn't be standing here. They're the ones that helped make WWE what it is, and a lot of respect for them, and to be in the game with them is an absolute honor.
Sheamus. I always tease him, I say his name like that, but being in that position, it's very cool because I get to play this game and I get to relive some memories, some old feuds with some guys with Macho Man and Rock and stuff like that. It's fun. Then I get to have a little fun and be a fan.
As you mentioned, some of these moves are incredibly high-flying. You're flipping and running all over the place. Of all the moves that you've seen in this game, how many can you actually pull off in real life?
Oh, fella, my talent is endless. I mean, I'm actually going to break out that springboard triple moonsault. I'm just waiting for the right time to bring that out.
The one that laughed me was I was bouncing Kofi off the ropes in the air. I kicked him into the air, he flew off the ropes. I swatted him back into the ropes, and I caught him and powerbombed him. And I was like, I'd like to see myself do that. Kofi probably wouldn't like to go through it, but
yeah, I mean, Seamus should be in the brawler and the high flyer section and the technical section. But unfortunately, apparently I don't make the big man section, which is a big show.
You've got to have some creative stuff that's cool. And that's the best part about this. This game is fantasy game, it's fantasy makeup, fantasy matchups. So the fact that there's some crazy moves that you can master in there, that makes you your own gamer. You become the master of The Rock or the master of John Cena or Andre or Big Show, whichever one it is you're using. And you develop things that these superstars haven't used before either. I think it's pretty cool.
Well, guys, that was a lot of fun, obviously, but the part that didn't actually make it into that video just now was when the Big Show asked me to go on tour with the WWE Superstars and actually become a professional wrestler. He could pretty much just instantly recognize my raw physical abilities. But you know what? I'm sticking with GameSpot. I respect you guys too much. I love you guys too much. And you're not getting rid of this face anytime soon.
So we don't want the 3DS to get all the attention this week. We still need to think about the Sony PSP, and to that end, we have today's daily demo, and that is for God's Eater Burst. Let's take a look.
Hey everyone, and welcome to our daily demo. I'm joined by Issei from D3, here to show us God's Eater Burst on the PSP. Welcome.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so tell us about this PSP game.
So God's Eater Burst is a monster hunting action RPG game that is coming out this March for the PSP. The basic storyline of this game is the Earth is kind of taken over by these beasts called Aragami, and you're a new recruit to this elite force called the God's Eaters, and the God's Eaters' mission is to use this weapon called the God Arc, which is the only weapon that's able to defeat these enemies and collect materials from them.
Okay. Cool, so let's jump in and take a look.
All right. So part of what makes this game kind of unique is the fact that every cutscene is fully animated using in-game models.
Okay. So what's happening here? What's the setup?
So right now you're seeing some different types of Aragamis, and they're kind of devouring each other, and that's kind of how they evolve into different Aragamis.
By eating each other?
Yes.
Oh.
And then here you see some members of the God's Eaters, and they're trying to get ready to defeat these guys.
Okay, so the primary point of the game is like monster hunting, collecting, loot. Is it that kind of formula?
Yeah, so you'll be going out on different missions, defeating monsters, collecting material from them, and you'll be crafting different equipment from them. And then you'll progress the story as you go along and do separate missions.
Okay. Is there multiplayer?
Yes, it's supports up to 4-player co-op.
Okay. Locally?
Locally.
Yeah.
So that weapon right there is called the God Arc. It's a weapon that's able to transform from sword and gun instantly, and that attack that it just did is called devouring.
Oh.
So by devouring the monsters, you collect materials.
I see. So it's like a machine that transforms into a giant mouth.
Yeah, it's the weapon itself is a little organic. It's it uses the cells of the Aragami, and the only way that the Aragami is able to get killed is by using their own cells against them.
Okay. So I guess one big primary focus of the game is kind of like upgrading your weapons and becoming more powerful. Oh. All right, so we have gameplay here, so tell us about how it all works.
Okay, so one of the things that makes this unique is the fact that you could switch between weapons at the same time with a single button. And you'll be using different weapons against different enemies, which will be effective on them. So for some of the characters, it's more effective to get up close and use a sword.
Like more melee types,
yeah.
And I noticed that you also have a range on that as well.
Right now I just switched to gun form.
So you do have a team of 4, even though I don't see you're playing multiplayer.
Yeah, I think that another thing that lets make it unique is the fact that you have NPC players helping you out the whole time.
Oh, okay, so not totally
you could always,
isolated.
Yeah, you could always choose to have different characters help you out. Also, the NPCs has different like affinities towards them. So let's say there's a character that has more of like a melee class, and there's some characters that are more medic or defending class. So you'll be kind of, depending on how your playstyle is, you'll be picking different characters, and also depending on what kind of enemies you'll be fighting.
Oh, so you want to have like a more balanced group.
Yeah.
So are all the weapons this big?
You have different sized weapons actually. There's some, I'm actually using my character's actually using a short sword right now. But there's some characters that use, you could craft weapons that are more like buster sword size or like a long sword size. And same thing with the guns as well.
Oh, interesting. So I'm assuming there's also a lot of gear, not just weapons, like armor.
Yeah. One of the things that you could also customize is the shield. And the shield is going to have different, basically, defense values against different elements.
And is it like a free roaming camera? I know that's usually a big thing with monster hunting type games.
Yeah, it's one of the things that will make it a little bit easier is you could lock on the camera against the enemy. So if you're fighting in sword form, you'll have the camera basically set on the enemy, so you don't have to like worry about the camera as much.
Oh, okay.
Right. So this is the bullet customization menu. So let me give you a quick example of what you could do with bullet customization. And this is something that's very unique to this game. So let's say, for example, right now you have a normal ice element bullet.
Oh, you can actually test it out.
Yeah. So basically what it does, it shoots a normal bullet, does 72 damage. Let's say you wanted to give it something more, has more damage to it, gives more oomph, right? So let's, I'm gonna do a quick example here where I'll be editing the bullet. And right now I had it set so it has a bomb, and that'll blow up as it impacts the enemy.
Oh, okay.
So if I was to test this one, it'll do a fire attack and it'll explode basically upon impact.
Okay, I see. So how many layers can you kind of tack on? Like what kind of like special bullet can you get at the end?
You could actually go for a pretty long time. If you see the chips at the top, that's the max you could go on. Each bullet that you add on has a set chip count. So you could pretty much go on to like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, depending on what kind of bullet you add on.
Oh wow.
Certain ones like lasers has more chips counts, like it'll go up to 10. But if you keep on going and you link down, you can make a really cool bullet.
All right, very cool. So when's the game coming out and on what platform?
The game is coming out is March this year, and it's coming out on the PSP.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
And that was our look at God's Eater Burst. Now on with the rest of our show.
Sophia, notice that I don't have this desk decked out with anything. I don't have a line of shirts. I don't have any figurines or anything like that sitting here. Why is that?
Because I have something to give away to our users today. We have 10 X-Men arcade codes for XBLA, and to get one, you have to answer this trivia question. Name at least one difference between the US and Japanese ROM. If you have the answer, you can email us at onthespot@gamespot.com or submit the answer in the answer trivia button module on the side of the page.
So that means, sadly, that today's show is coming to a close, but the good news is, Sophia, there's lots of stuff happening on the site.
That's true. If you guys have been paying attention, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, we're having a tournament here at the GameSpot office on January 27th. For more information, you can check out Jody's community blog.
But that's not all we've got. We've also got stuff that was at the Nintendo press conference. We've got more information on the 3DS on the site, and of course, more stuff coming out of the THQ event that was in New York. And of course, we've got lots of reviews, previews, and more on the site, but we'll talk about that another day. Until then, I was your host, Kevin Van Ord.
I'm Sophia Tong.
And until the next episode of Today on the Spot, we'll see you later.
I just tinkled, don't worry.
Go for it when you're ready, Shaun.
We really just bonded. We talked about bodily functions.
Doctor, hopefully that doesn't make it into the interview.
Only big news, of course, this week. We know lots of stuff that we didn't know about the Nintendo 3DS before.
Right, like a launch date and the pricing. Hey, we're filming!